Cricket is my passion and I cannot avoid it.
Assalamu alaikum, good evening, namaskar to one and all. Going into the third test match, it was England who had to make sure that their batting picks up. But the way the match turned around, it was England who hammered India by an innings and almost 100 runs, rather 76 runs, and beat India hands down. And to discuss all about it, I have India's legend Wasim Jafar, who's also the batting coach of Punjab Kings. And they are also in UAE. So welcome to UAE, first of all, Wasim bhai.
Thank you, Anis bhai. Nice to
So
be
how's
here.
been your stay? I know you've just come today morning, must be tired. I hope everything all good.
All good so far. Yes, we've checked into the hotel, so had a little bit of rest. Now have to quarantine for a few days and get going.
All right. So let me straight jump to the question, Wasim bhai. Going to this test match, as I mentioned, that India had their tails up. They had won the test match at Lords, and everybody was talking about that it will be England who will have to make sure that they pick up their batting. But the match turned around. Do you think Virat Kohli read the pitch wrong?
I think so. You can say that on the hindsight. There's no doubt about it. Because Headingley is known to be, it does help the seamers early on. Uh, it's always been the case with Headingley, helping the seamers, and it has a lot of sideways movement. And whatever the movement or help is there, that is always on the day one. Usually, the day two and day three are known to be a good batting deck, and that's how it turned out to play. So I think India missed the beat there. I feel, they had the initiative. Even Joe Root, when he spoke after the toss, he wasn't sure what he was going to do. So going in with four seamers and, without the Ashwin, that was also, surprised me because they had five left-handers and Ashwin didn't play. And it looked like a dry surface. The weather was supposed to be good for the next 5 days, like we discussed. And even then, Ashwin didn't come into the play. And we had four seamers, and the same batting lineup had collapsed on day five for England. Getting all out for 120, and we had all the momentum. So I thought, somewhere I feel we have given them the momentum, and they, rightly so accepted it with both hands. Like we discussed after the second test, that it's going to be very tough for this England side to come back because all the batting they relied on Joe Root. The bowling was kind of relied on Anderson to give the breakthroughs. But I think India handed away the initiative to this England team.
When you mentioned that India handed over the initiative to England team, see if you saw in the first test match and in the second test match, our openers had applied. But in this third test match, probably you felt that they were in a hurry. Because if you see in the first test match, in the first 20 overs, batting first, we were almost 26. Similarly, at Lords also it was the same. But in the third test match, I did not feel that the conditions were that difficult. Okay, maybe you know who has played cricket at the highest level. Compared to the first two test match, the conditions were probably similar, if not difficult.
It was, and I think we discussed that. Remember, if we go back to the World Test Championship final or even the first test, and I said so that having that mental discipline is very, very important. And once you lose that in England, once you start scoring runs, somewhere you become comfortable, and that's it gets you down straight away. And that's the case I could feel with KL Rahul a little bit because he got runs, he got 80 odd in the first test, got 100 in the second test, and somewhere you start to feel relaxed a little bit, and you feel that you can drive the ball or you can play the ball which is outside of stump. Sometimes you leave those balls, and that is the mental discipline I talk about. Playing in England is very, very important that you have that mental discipline of leaving those balls and leaving that ego out of trying to hit the ball hard. And I feel that is very, very crucial, giving that respect of an hour or maybe 2 hour at times, and play out that first session without losing too many wickets. And that's where I think the base is set. So I think Indian openers probably. I won't say much about Rohit, but I think KL needs to, go back to the drawing board again and look at how he played in the first and the second test and go back to those ways of playing, I feel.
Fair point, Wasim. Absolutely, that you need to apply yourself in England, even though you're in form, because this conditions in England come to haunt you back, and that's what we saw in the way India collapsed. Now, my second question, Wasim, it's rather the third question, which I already mentioned about the toss, which probably backfired. But my third question, now you mentioned about India missing Ashwin. Now I want to come to throw some stats to you. Ravindra Jadeja probably has bowled around 70 or 80 odd overs in 3 test matches. Picked up 2 wickets at an average of 95. He scored some around 100, 120 runs. And you are not playing your number one spinner. Now I want to ask a very direct question, which probably all the fans and all the pundits have been talking about. Are you going to be talking about that you have set a template that no, you want to be playing that 6 batters and 1 all-rounder in Ravindra Jadeja and leaving out your ace spinner? Is just because are we talking because India lost a test match, or do you feel that Ashwin should have been playing well ahead of Ravindra Jadeja?
No, I think I felt that, even in the third test match, I felt that Ashwin might have played that test match. If you need wickets from the spinners, I feel that's where Jadeja, proves to be, not so difficult for the batsman to face. And that's where Ashwin can become a weapon. When your spinners are bowling and he's just bowling to keep the overs tight and keep the fast bowlers a little bit of rest. And I don't think we need to do that. You have got a quality spinner who's been playing county cricket in England, who's done well even in the last overs, and he's been taking wickets in this whole season. The side game or even the county game that he played for Surrey, he picked up 10 wickets. So he's in form, and it's not that he cannot bat. He's got test hundreds. He's got 5 or 6 test hundreds, so he can bat. So I don't think and on top of that, what I said before, that they've got 5 left-handers. So somewhere I feel Ashwin is definitely needed. I think going into Oval Test match, if I can talk, it's going to be a good batting wicket. That's what I see. That's what Oval is known for. So I feel we'll probably need to think about playing with 2 spinners again and going with 3 seamers. That is something we need to look. And again, like I said, we need to go to the drawing board. And for all the time that we've been talking, I've always said that, this Indian team can take 20 wickets, but we are not putting up the scores. And again, it proved to be the same thing. We're not putting up scores like 350, 400 consistently. Pujara has come into form a little bit, and I think somewhere he need to bat the way he batted in the second innings. He need to look after, scoring runs. Ajinkya Rahane, he's not been consistent for a while. That is a major call. I feel Indian team will need to think whether they need to, back Surya Kumar Yadav. The openers are batting well. I think KL Rahul, need to be back to where he was in the first, second test match. Virat Kohli, this England team, they've got experience bowling attack and they keep bowling in those channels. So he needs to be, little mindful of, how he played in 2018. He need to go back to that way of playing again. So unless and until this Indian team doesn't score 350, 400, it's going to be difficult to win the test matches there.
You hit the nail, like you mentioned about England having 5 left-handers. Ashwin definitely probably would cause trouble. And you also mentioned one point about Ashwin having 5 test match hundreds compared to Ravindra Jadeja's 1. So it's sometimes baffling, but Virat Kohli calls the shots and probably he knows what he's doing. And when India was 1-0 up, nobody would have complained. But in hindsight, now it's come to bite us. Also, one important, stats which you mentioned about Indian batsmen. I was just writing a piece where we have, we have scored around 1,000 runs between our top 7 batters, out of which we have your teammate KL Rahul scoring 230 runs, followed by Rohit Sharma, who scored some 200, Cheteshwar Pujara 160, Kohli 124, Rahane 95, Rishabh Pant 87, and Ravindra Jadeja 133. Whereas from the other side, there's one batsman who scored almost half the runs, that is Joe Root. How do you stop Joe Root? We still don't have an answer. He got 300 and was on the verge of getting the 400 in the first test match.
Yeah, I think he's in his those purple patch. Joe Root, he keeps coming on and with so much pressure. That's the thing to admire about Joe Root. With him being under so much pressure, and he knows how much the batting relies on him, and he keeps delivering, and keeps scoring those big hundreds. Those match-saving, match-winning knocks. Even in India, he got that double hundred. Without those runs, I think England wouldn't have won that Test match in India also. So he keeps carrying this England batting attack, on his own, with Butler not, with Ben Stokes not there. So that's the thing to admire about Joe Root. But I feel Indian team, I think, definitely bowling well to him, but he is just, he's got no loopholes, as such. He's such a great player, and he's so assured. When he bats and somebody else bats, you can make out the difference in the quality of his batting. But I feel somewhere India need to rethink, because these two Test matches are very, very crucial, and I feel this Indian team has in them to win the series. They have dominated out of 3 Test matches. They have dominated the 2 Test matches. It's only the last test. It's only because, we misread probably the pitch. We bowled out for 78, and you cannot win a Test match, like that. Rishabh Pant, if I can talk, he needs to contribute as well, because the way he's batting, it's a question mark whether he can bat in the swinging conditions. So he needs to adapt to these conditions. It's fine where the ball comes onto the bat and it's not doing much, but conditions are going to be different. And like I said, these England bowlers will keep challenging you towards that off stump, outside off stump. So he needs to sort that out, because he's a very vital member in this Indian batting attack. So he needs to spend time. He needs to trust his defense a little bit more. And you cannot come out and, have that slam bang attitude, because it's not going to be so easy to come out and start attacking from day one, ball one. So he needs to somewhere, think, because Test cricket is all about adapting to different conditions. It's fine when you're batting well and conditions are, suitable to your batting. But when it's not, you need to bite down and, you need to buckle and absorb those pressure. So somewhere I think he needs to, rethink how he needs to approach the Test match batting in England. Because, as we all know, after number 8, 9, 10, 11, even though those guys were the major contributors in the last Test match that we win, but Indian tail is not, known to wag too much. And we've got 4 fast bowlers who's not known to bat for a long period. So the 7 batters that play, they need to contribute a lot more.
All right. You mentioned in nutshell what actually has to be done. How did you rate Virat Kohli's captainship in the 3rd Test match?
I think few things definitely, gone wrong. But saying that, we can all talk in the hindsight, and it's very easy to talk when things have happened. If India would have batted well and got 350, 400 runs, then things would have been totally different. I'm sure when he won the toss, he himself knew that, they need to spend that first session really well. They need to bat those first session out really well. That didn't happen. And that's the thing about Anderson and those bowlers. When conditions favor them, they are going to challenge you. It's not going to be easy. So in the hindsight, we can say, we have not made right decisions about batting first, or, playing without Ashwin. But I think India need to come back. India need to come back, and they have in them to come back, and they have done that before also. So I feel, Manchester and Oval, those 2 places, I feel that Indian team will feel happy about playing there. But I think we need to get the selection right. We need to, the batting needs to support the bowling. I've got no problems with the bowling, but somewhere I feel again we need to put scores of 350, 400 time and again. That's the only thing they need to do if they need to win outside India. And I feel somewhere, this Indian team is pretty similar to the Australians of the 90s and early 2000. But those batting lineup, were great batting lineup. You give them whatever situation, whatever the conditions, they'll score 350, 400, they would dominate. And that's the thing lacking in this Indian team, I feel. They've got the bowling to dismiss any opponents and take 20 wickets. But we are not putting the scores like they used to do. So if India needs to dominate world cricket outside India, they need to put up scores of 350, 400, consistently.
Fair point. We need to put up score 350, 400 if we need to be like the Australian team, which was in the early 90s. And you mentioned about we need to have the right selection. Now, what would be a side for the next test match? I mean, if you had to pick your 11, what changes would you like to do? Or you would like to have probably going into Oval?
I think if the conditions are good, Oval is supposed to be, it's in London. If it's on a good sunny weather, if the forecast is good, temperatures are close to 25 plus, then it's not a bad idea to play 3 seamers and 2 spinners. Ashwin and Jadeja, and having Shami, Bumrah and Siraj, and going with the same batting lineup. I mean, there's a question mark over Ajinkya, but that's the call probably. Virat and Rohit, or probably.
Would you replace Ajinkya, who's got 90 runs in 5 innings?
I would be tempted to play Surya Kumar Yadav. Even though he hasn't played much red ball cricket, you have Vihari, but I think you need somebody who can run, score quickly, and put pressure on the batters, on the bowlers. You don't need somebody who just spends time. And there's nothing against Hanuma Vihari; he's a quality player. There's no doubt about it, but he hasn't played cricket for a long time. But Surya Kumar, you got to respect the form that he is in, even though it's a white ball cricket, but he's played a lot of red ball cricket also. So there's not much doubt in me about his temperament and his batting. It's only that, you're playing against Anderson and company. But I would be tempted to play Surya Kumar Yadav.
Why wouldn't you be tempted to play when you said you want somebody to score runs? The Delhi opener, the shot.
Prithvi Shaw.
Yep.
You can do, but I think you'll probably need to disturb the opening partnership again. You might play KL Rahul at number 5.
You can bring Prithvi Shaw number 3, because in any case Pujara is not scoring runs. If you see all his innings, barring the last 90, he looks to be under much more pressure than Rahane. Probably both are in the same boat.
Yeah, I think it's a a call that can happen. It all depends.
So he can be that Virendra Sehwag for India who can take the game away. I'm asking this question.
When he bats, he's going to bat in only one way. There's no doubt about it. He's not going to hang around. If he bats, 2 sessions, he's going to get you 120, 130 runs easily. But the question is, again, against this moving ball, against Anderson and company, it's not going to be that easy. So it's going to be a very tricky call, whether you go for like change, or you change the whole thing. So it's going to be difficult. Somewhere I feel Virat and Ravi Shastri probably will back Ajinkya Rahane for one more test. That can also happen. But I think you don't need to disturb the opening partnership who's done so well in the first 2 test matches.
Fair point. I don't want to disturb the opening partnership. They've been in the form of their life. Rather, they are the ones who are the top 2 scorers. You said probably between 5 and 6, either Ajinkya goes out, or probably you push Virat a little ahead and get Prithvi Shaw in the middle when the ball is soft, and he can go take the attack to the opposition when the ball is not swinging so much.
Yeah, I think Prithvi Shaw hasn't batted in his career. He hasn't batted much at number 3. So that's a question mark. If he needs to play, I think he needs to open and give you that momentum straight away. If not, you're changing number 3 where Pujara has scored most of his runs. If Pujara comes in and, takes that much time building that innings, then it becomes again, you don't want that to happen. You don't want the bowlers to be on top of you when you are 100 for 2 or 100 for 3. So it's going to be difficult, selection. I mean, like for like, I would like Surya Kumar Yadav, but it's not a bad option to give Prithvi Shaw a go as well, because, Oval is going to be a good batting deck. It's not going to seem around like these pitches. So it's going to be a tricky call.
Okay. My final question for you. Do you think India has indeed to win this series?
Oh, definitely. I think they've done that, too many times before. Whenever they've been down, and
they did it last when you played, Wasim, in 2007. I can't remember after that. They've lost 4-0, 3-1.
I mean, not in England, but recently they have been like that, where they are, down.
My question is in England. Can they win it in England in this swinging conditions?
I think so. I think if, like I said before in a lot of my interviews to you and other places also, that, they've been in England too many times to, repeat the same mistakes. If they don't win now, then when they are going to win against such a depleted England team? This is not the best England team. They themselves have so many problems. Ben Stokes is not playing. The top order is not sure. Apart from Anderson, even Broad is not there. So if they don't win now, then when are they going to win? So I think they have in them, they've got the temperament, they've got potential. It's about, picking the right team, picking the right decisions, and I'm sure delivering. That's the only thing it's required.
Like you mentioned, absolutely, they do not have Ben Stokes, they do not have Stuart Broad, they do not have Jofra Archer, they do not have Chris Wokes. The openers, okay, they came back into form in the last match. But India definitely on paper looks to be a strong side. And Wasim Jaffer, if they can't win this time, we don't know when they're going to win.
Definitely.
All right, Wasim Bhai, we wish you the very best for your Punjab Kings in this second innings, rather the last 7 games, if I'm not wrong, you'll have.
Last
right?
six, last 6
Rather,
games.
last 6 games. And to qualify, you need to win probably at least 5 to get into the playoffs.
Yeah, 4 at least. Definitely, if we win 5, then we qualify. So it's going to be.
Well, my best wishes are with your team, Punjab Kings, not only because you are with me, but to the whole team. And I wish you a very safe quarantine in this next few days. And we'll see you in the action very soon. And I'm sure you'll give the best of guidance with your batting style to your players. Thank you, Wasim Bhai.
Thank you very much.